Hello, what's up guys? It's Apollo here. Hope you guys are doing well and welcome back to Third Age Total War. Today we have another historical or lore friendly battle, whatever you prefer. This one is made by the legend PaladinBob. I've actually never heard of this battle until today, and it's got a fantastic backstory, and it has Gondor and Rohan in the same battle, which ironically enough is not that common in these custom battle scenarios. So this is going to be a good show. I can just feel it. So this battle, this one is called the Crossing of Poros or Poros. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Again, this is the first time I've ever heard of this battle, so if I'm saying it incorrectly, please correct me in case we have another battle in this area and I'll say it correctly, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, this is a river located in the southern realm of Gondor, and there's a road, it's called the Harad Road, that crosses through it. There's a river crossing, and this river crossing, well, the road, surprisingly enough, leads to Harad. But yeah, this river crossing is actually pretty famous before this battle. So in the year 1900 Third Age, the enemies of Gondor united and attacked. Now, because of the strategic location, Gondor was able to hold their ground and they won that battle. Well, here we are again, but it's much later on. So the year is 2885 Third Age, 134 years before the War of the Ring, which is the war that Lord of the Rings is based on, in case you didn't know, which is relatively close, which is kind of crazy. In fact, at the time of this battle, the King of Rohan is Theoden's grandfather, so it's only a couple generations difference. His uncles actually fight in this battle, but we'll get more to them a little bit later. So yeah, the backstory of this fight. So Sauron, he's going with the slow and steady strategy. He has the manpower, right? He doesn't need to win battles. He just needs to kill his enemy. He can have 1,000 battles, lose them all, but then win the war because he has so many allies. He has so many orcs, and Gondor just doesn't have the manpower. So that's what he's going for. He's going for just attacks, slowly bleeding the enemy. So he commands Harad to use the crossing and attack Gondor. Now Rohan shows up. They fulfill their oath, and they send up some reinforcements with Gondor to help them defend this ford and hopefully defend Gondor's lands. And they are victorious. Now, speaking of the lore, I don't know what's going to happen here in today's video, but lore-wise, Gondor and Rohan are victorious. But remember, the King of Rohan, he sent his sons to the fight. I haven't said that yet, so I don't know why I said remember, but he sent his twin sons, his two twin sons, to fight. I assume the King of Rohan, he was around 55 years old at this time of the battle. Not saying that he's old, but maybe he just wasn't fit to fight. So he sent his sons. His sons, tragically, both of them died in the fight. And I think Gondor was so moved of their sacrifice, they made a memorial on the battlefield. It's pretty much a symbol of Gondor's respect towards Rohan. So it's pretty cool. I mean, this was a time where they were buddy-buddy, you know, before this guy. So since both twins died tragically in the battle, the new heir to the throne of Rohan would be the king's youngest son. He was too young to fight at the time of this battle, but that would be Theoden's father, who, you know, of course, Theoden would grow up and then later become the king of Rohan. So pretty cool backstory. I think Rohan really dodged a bullet there by losing both those twins because, you know, when you have twins, you can only crown one king, and yeah, that's always a messy situation. Usually breaks out in civil war. So maybe it was for the better that they tragically died in this battle. Again, I'm only kidding, but it's all fantasy, so it's not like you can be offended because these people aren't real. But anyways, let's look at these armies and then we can dive into the battle. So we're first going to look at the defenders, the good guys. So the first army here, we have Gondor, commanded by Magyar. He is bringing a nice force. I love Gondor. I love their uniforms and how professional they are. But he's got Gondor archers. He's got Citadel Guard. And of course, he has some Fountain Guards. So everything good from Gondor is pretty much in this army. He's got great cav as well, some Swan Knights, and some Gondor cavalry. So it's going to be a solid force. Also, he's got some Blackroot Vale archers, which is a very solid, not as good as Athelian archers, which we see right here, but they are pretty good and very useful on the battlefield. Now, of course, we do have Gondor. There's two different Gondor players. The first army is commanded by PaladinBob, bringing a lot of cav on this flank, on this right flank, so very nice. He also has some infantry back here, which here we go. It's actually some Peligre Marines Not sure why they're under the banner of Rohan. There might be a story behind that, but he is controlling some of Gondor's infantry. And then the other Gondor force has a couple troops. Is commanded by Happy Meal. So he's got some Helmingas archers and some artillery. So it looks like he's going to be mostly a skirmishing force. Way over here on this side of the map, we also have some troops from PaladinBob, some archers and catapults, and I guess just like a small flanking force trying to get behind the enemy. So let's now look at the bad guys, the attackers, the Haradrim. So we have all Haradrim. The first force is commanded by Swainy Troll. He's got some Sauron Warband and some dismounted Serpent Guard and some mounted Serpent Guard. This is actually the general. We also have a lot of other Sauron type units like archers, pikemen, swordsmen, spearmen. So yeah, Haradrim archers as well. A ballista, which is great at countering enemy artillery. And we do have some Cav, some Sauron Lancers on the battlefield. That is awesome. This other force is commanded by Haro Ross. Very, very similar army. Just lots of Sauron troops, Haradrim troops. Even some Trollmen of Harad, which is great. This is a solid infantry unit. Really great at holding the line and even destroying enemy lines. Here's a warband back here. And we also have more Cav on the flank. So we're going to see a lot of Cav in today's battle, which makes sense because Harad is pretty Cav focused and so is Rohan. And then the final force, we have Attila. He is bringing more spears, more Haradrim spears, and this is kind of like the back rear guard, just some reinforcements, some Muhad tribesmen, which is a great javelin unit, and he's got more Cav way in the back as well. So that's pretty much it for the army comps. We can now do normal speed and get ready for the battle. So Gondor is in a pretty good defensive location. There's a nice slope here. Now, unfortunately, I'm sure for gameplay reasons, they are not controlling this ridge. Harad was quick enough to maneuver most of their forces over the ford, over the river crossing, and they now have a pretty solid foothold, a pretty solid location on this battlefield, so they don't have to worry about fighting, at a choke point type situation at the river crossing. They can now mobilize their troops, do proper tactics and formations. So they are marching forward. They're getting their ballista ready. Gondor is forming up their defensive lines. Of course, he's going to have his archers in the front lines, lining up, ready to go. More Gondor archers lining up. So Rohan is actually pushing forward their Cav. Should be interesting to see if Rohan actually tries to get really aggressive here. Is he going to use his Cav defensively or aggressively? I think both will be effective. Personally, I think he should go with the... by the way, there's some artillery firing in the background. We'll check that out soon. I think he should be more defensive because I think they are slightly outnumbered in terms of Cav is what I'm trying to say. Because you can easily get surrounded and out-microed if you're outnumbered like that. So I think he should definitely rely on Gondor's infantry. We got some great flanking fire from Gondor and the trebuchet the catapult of Rohan, trebuchet of Gondor. Also, the archers are nearby, but they're not quite in range of the Haradrim forces. So this is going to put some pressure on their army to push forward. They just can't sit back. He is maneuvering over. Oh, God. Yep. Oh, that could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. He lost about 5 guys there. But he's going to push over his ballista and try to get that in range. I don't know how close he has to get. And even if he does get close enough, it might be a bad angle. So actually, he's pretty far away. And it does look like they're loading it up. So I think he's going to be able to get a good hit here. This ballista is the sniper of the battlefield. I mean, they can take out just precision. The accuracy is ridiculous. They can take out so many artillery pieces from so far away. And that's why, that's why Rohan is retreating their catapult. And Gondor is still pretty safe. But he's going to continue to fire. All right, so if we look at the mini-map, we can see the armies kind of forming up. We had a little bit... It looks like a Cav charge on this side, but I think the skirmishers really chewed them up, and it really led to nothing other than Harad losing troops and falling back. Rohan... actually, you know what? It was the Riders of the Fold. Rohan has 2 units of skirmishing Cav, so they're going to try to be aggressive with them, harass the enemy. So I like this so far. Even though Gondor and Rohan are being super defensive, they have a couple elements on the battlefield that are causing Harad to be a little impatient, to be a little nervous because they're getting harassed by artillery and horse archers. So it's not the easiest situation for Harad. Harad is setting up a ballista on this side as well, and some archers, which is a great way to zone out enemy horse skirmishers. It's just, honestly, it's the best way to fight them. You know, let them come close enough so your archers can fire at them, and you just gotta hope that you take them out over time. Unless you have horse archers, you know, if you don't have horse archers, this is the best strategy. If you do have horse archers, then obviously you want to chase the enemy horse archers and try to beat them. But who knows? Anyways, I'm just rambling on. The ballista is now loading up. And there we go. First volley. He's going to use fire arrows. Which makes it a little less accurate. But again, takes out 2 cav. And the other one doesn't get a hit. Let's see the third one. Third one is not going to fire. Unfortunate. I guess it jammed. No, I don't know. What's going on, third one? Where is it? There we go. There we go. I don't think he's going to hit anyone, though, because the cav, yeah, they moved out of the way. So, yeah, definitely a slower start to this fight. We do have a little bit of a horse skirmish going on this side. So, Haradrim Raiders, they're trying to skirmish down the Rohirrim artillery. Also, we have archers located on the top. Nice, putting down returning fire, trying to protect this catapult against the enemy cav. So honestly, if I was Gondor, I would be super aggressive. At first, you know, looking at this battle, I would have said, all right, let's be defensive. But the fact that they have the artillery here, they have archers, they've got cav on the other side. I think if you can pin them down over here, use this fantastic flanking fire of the artillery, you might be able to rack up a ton of. I mean, look at that. All you need is a couple more hits like that, and you will win the battle. But since Gondor is kind of being... Oh, wait. Are they moving forward? Are they pushing up? Oh, they might be pushing up, guys. Fantastic. So, yeah, we have archers mobilizing. We have Riddermark skirmishers headed over to the other side. I think Happy Meal is sending over some skirmishers to probably face the enemy horse skirmishers, try to, you know, bring them down. Back here, Rohan is kind of giving up on this side. Not completely. He still has his cav on this side, but he's not harassing as much. But we'll head back this way where Gondor is forming up and getting ready to attack. We do have a defensive oh, wow. Happy Meal has a ton of infantry over here defending this flank. So I didn't see a lot of these troops earlier on. Of course, you saw it when looking at the army comps. But yeah, I didn't know he had so much infantry here. And are they just all going towards the slope? No, I think they're... Okay, good. I'm like, please don't just camp the slope. Gondor, take him on, head on. He is pushing up his archers and his army. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a nice skirmishing phase pretty soon. But the archers still trying to fight back against the artillery and the enemy archers, or the defending archers, which is the Helmingas. Very nice. They're loading up, getting ready to fire. Most of their shots, well, a lot of the shots are going in the ground for both forces, because it's a very difficult angle for these archers. I mean, you can't even see the enemy archers from the point of view of the Southron archers. So you kind of have to estimate. These Southron archers, by the way, are getting decimated. They are getting wiped out so quickly. And the artillery continuously harassing these guys from afar. Oh, the ballista's firing, though. Oh, the ballista. Oh, and it takes... Look, what did I say? What did I say? The ballista is ridiculous. It's so accurate. Every time it fires, I would say like 95% of the time, it's going to get a hit. Oh, here comes another one. Here comes another one. Hey, technically, it got a hit. You can see the... Oh, you can see the ballista ammo right there. Nice. Here comes another... Oh, God. Oh, my God. So close to destroying that catapult. All right, so Gondor needs to move now. They need to go now before the artillery is all gone. All right, here comes Rohan. Let's see. It looks like they're going for the horse skirmishers. They might be breaking apart. One force might be going for the archers. One might be... Yep, one's going for the skirmishers, the horse skirmishers. There we go. He's going to commit. He is going to catch up to these horse archers, bring them down, destroy them, and they're going to be off the battlefield. Oh, and another good hit from the artillery. Harad trying to stay in loose formation. Maybe they're just waiting out the enemy artillery. I'm not too certain, but the Rohirrim Cav is now free to run around in the back lines of Harad, taking out archers. Oh, here comes another charge. not protecting their archers against this army. Just a brutal mistake there. And Rohan's going to take advantage of that. So good move there by Happy Meal. And Harad's kind of freaking out. They're pulling back this massive army right now. But we've just got chaos and confusion from Harad. A very messy formation. We've got Cav near the front line. Oh, here comes a charge from Gondor. Beautiful charge. That was awesome. So great use of the Cav. Again, trying to take out the archers. The Southron Warband, who are a spear unit, are going to try to cut them down. But Gondor's going to pull out of there as quick as possible. And finally, Harad is sending over some Cav reinforcements to protect their flank. And Rohan is also going to fall back. But they've done a lot of damage. I definitely think those 2 Cav charges was certainly worth it. And I think Gondor, I mean, I say go for it. I mean, yes, you're outnumbered. The balance of power is looking good, though. If you commit, have the support of the artillery, I think they can easily win this one. Also, if Rohan can send down their extra infantry, just send these guys down, join the fight. I mean, this is a massive army indeed, but I think I just think with superior positioning, they've got the high ground. They've got Cav just lurking everywhere. Here comes another Cav charge. Some Rohan riders charging into some Haradrim raiders. So Harad, oh, well, okay, so not that bad of a mistake. He was a little too close to Rohan, but he is trying to get out of there. He's got to keep moving, though. Keep running. Keep running. Oh, God, Rohan. The Royal Guard. I love the Royal Guard. Trying to chase him down. He's going to stop. And now the riders are going to close in. And, oh, just when I thought he was going to get out of there without losing too many men, he gets cut down. He gets, well, he still got out of there with a decent amount. So Rohan's going to fall back. So it wasn't a terrible exchange for Rohan. All right, so what do we got here? The Cav, they're staying back. I think the archers are trying to get close enough to fire at them. And the Gondor archers are now letting loose their arrows at the Haradrim archers. Yeah, the Athelian Rangers, the Gondor archers. Excellent, excellent. These archers are going to be pretty good. Oh, did we get a Cav charge over here? We did. A little bit of a Cav exchange. Serpent Guard, I think they went to go after some Gondor swordsmen. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So now that Gondor has left there. Oh, my God. Look at that hit. Did you see that hit? See, don't clump up Harad, please. But, yeah, the Cav is now free, harassing some of the Gondor swordsmen. The Gondor Cav and the Rohirrim Cav are so busy putting pressure on the flank that they left some parts of their army very vulnerable to Cav charges. Finally, Rohan is sending up some reinforcements to try to contain this. Oh, now he's going for a charge against Gondor, giving him a taste of his own medicine, going after the archers. A tragic loss there. So I think the players on both sides are busy microing multiple flanks. Here comes another Cav charge. Excellent. Here we go. Serpent Guard closing in. Nice. Beautiful job. The Fountain Guard and the Guards of Osgiliath are trying to close in the gap. Here comes some Gondor spears. They're also charging in, trying to stop this massive Cav charge. Now, even though they got some good charges in, if they can kill enough of this Cav, they're not going to have to worry about them for the rest of the battle. But again, remember, Harad has a lot of Cav. Ton of Cav. Rohan is now sending over some reinforcements as well, trying to protect their army. And the 2 great armies are at a standstill. And just look at the massive. This is insane. These massive armies. I love it. So, Harad, you know, I think Harad needs to be a little bit more aggressive. I don't think if they play the waiting game, it's not in their favor. Like, they've got to be aggressive because Gondor has the superior positioning. Oh, another Cav charge. So back and forth. The 2 armies have been butchering each other. Rohan sending in some riders, and they're going to fall back. Now, of course, Harad's going to counter that charge, try to protect his archers. Oh, we have more Cav. Oh, I think he went for another charge over on this side, too. There we go. Oh, massive Cav advance, or Cav was advancing, but I don't think he's going to go for it. Gondor's getting closer and closer. We have some depleted Gondor infantry closing in. Maybe he's using them as a bit of a meat shield, a bit of cannon fodder to absorb some of that ammo so the healthier units don't get harassed. And it does seem like he is doing that. And we do have cav charges also taking them out as well. Catapult is just letting loose, firing down in their position. And Gondor is advancing. And the Rohirrim cav is also advancing. Massive cav fight in between the two infantry lines. Pretty cool scene indeed. Over on this side, more cav just kind of running around. Nothing is super critical yet. But I'm pretty sure Rohan's going to win this engagement. They just completely outnumber Harad. And now we have Swan Knights who are joining the fight as well. Artillery closing down on the Haradrim forces. Gondor's formation a little messy here. That's okay. This has been a really messy fight with all this cav. There you go. Butchering that Serpent Guard, the Southron Lancers. All right, so more cav running around. Oh, yeah. Charging it. Okay, so let's slow it down a little bit. Let's just a tad bit because this is getting a little out of hand. There's just so much going on. So Rohan, flying Haradrim. Rohan is charging into the side of the spears. We've got another massive cav charge closing in, trying to break the lines of Harad. Harad is now committing infantry over to this side. That's gorgeous. I love the slow motion. So let's do normal speed as these two great infantry forces clash near the river of Poros or whatever. So Gondor cav flanking around, still harassing the archers. Beautiful charge there. Some of the infantry are fighting it out. Actually, I would say most of Gondor's infantry have been committed over to the front line. More cav running through the gaps, going after vulnerable targets, trying to take out the Gondor spears. Rohan falling back and just doing cycle charges. They got an excellent charge against the spears, but again, they're fighting spears, so they don't want to get stuck in a prolonged engagement. We'll head back over here to this main fight where Gondor is doing a pretty good job. They're definitely better quality than Harad. Harad needs to send in more troops because, if it's an even battle, Harad's going to lose because Gondor is just better. They have better troops, essentially. But we do have some pikes joining the fight. Here we go. Serpent Guard flanking around. Gondor has some back reserve over here. Is he going to commit them in? Not quite yet. I would charge them in. Send in those. There they go. There they go. Oh, they're moving, but they're not moving the direction I thought they would be. Maybe they're going to try to outflank the Serpent Guard. So the Serpent Guard, they need to push and try to slow down the outflanking spears. Let's see. No, they're just standing there. But the rest of the army still fighting in this front line. Beautiful front line. We also have a small battle over here. The General of Gondor is in the fight. All right, let's see. Harad is still pretty healthy. Still has a lot of troops, but getting harassed over on this left side from Rohan. Constantly just chipping away at the spears. Harad doing everything they can to try to slow him down. Riders of the Fold flanking around, and we have more cav up on this hillside just waiting to kill their enemy and to charge in on that flank. They're buying time for Gondor. I mean, imagine if all these troops were engaged in fighting Gondor right now. They would overwhelm them easily, but the cav is just causing them so many issues over on that side. The balance of power is, oh wow, there's a big difference in kills. 21% Gondor has been killed, 42% of Harad have been killed. So almost half of their army gone. Now I assume it's the weaker half. Mostly the Warband and whatnot. Serpent Guard facing the Citadel Guard. That's a pretty good matchup. I think the Serpent Guard are a little bit better than the Citadel Guard. I could be mistaken, though. Oh, artillery. I think you got some friendly fire. Here comes a flanking force. Oh, no, Gondor coming down, sending over some dismounted Royal Guard, attacking the Southron pikemen who are trying to flank around and kill the General of Gondor, I believe the King of Gondor. And there's a massive, look at this battle. There's a massive brawl everywhere throughout this fight. Oh, the javelins are closing in. So Harad needs to really just win. He needs to outflank Gondor. That's the best way of winning this one. And PaladinBob still, Happy Meal and PaladinBob just constantly harassing this side of the Haradrim army. Again, I assume he's just being a diversion, trying to slow him down. It looks like they took out a ballista. But he should not leave his cav in there for too long, obviously, against the pikemen. More cav charges there. Trollmen of Harad standing their ground, trying to get around the guards of Osgiliath. Gondor putting up a great fight over in this center position. And I'm pretty sure Gondor is just butchering the forces on the right side, Haradrim's right side of the army. Now Gondor is going to continue to advance. It's pretty amazing how heavily outnumbered this force is, and I'm loving the cinematics of this battle. Oh, there goes one of the generals. I think that was Rohan. I guess that's one of the twins of Rohan dead on the battlefield. Now we have some axemen charging in, followed by some Osgiliath pikemen, and the Muhad tribesmen are just focusing down the Citadel Guard. Look at the javelins closing in, getting some great hits. Wonderful hits. Trollmen of Harad fighting off Gondor spears. Gondor trying to get as many troops over here as possible. We do have a small reserve of forces, some archers, but they are getting charged by Haradrim spears. Let's go ahead and slow it down again, because I'm a little overwhelmed by this battle, because it's just so intense. All right, so Harad trying to charge and take out this archer position. Where is Rohan? Rohan is, I assume, advancing more infantry this way. We do have some fighting. Oh my god, this is just insane. There's some fighting going on here. Gondor is sending over their general's bodyguard, trying to take out what they can. So the Swan Knights are also in the back lines. Rohan has a lot of troops in the back lines. Harad is just kind of holding the center position, getting attacked on multiple flanks, and hoping the enemy runs out of troops before it's too late. Let's go back. Okay, so I think that's everything from the battle. So let's zoom back in, see these heavy lancers charge in, support the other cav. Very nice, but they charged into some pikemen, which is not very nice. So he's losing a lot of cav. PaladinBob needs to pull out of there before it's too late, or maybe again he's just trying to distract these guys as long as possible so Gondor's infantry can just close in and cut through these guys like a hot knife through butter. But the balance of power is really looking good for Gondor. Here comes the Muhad tribesmen. They charged in, trying to take out the archers, which is a very important part to the Gondorian army. Look at that fight. That is too good. Just seeing the infantry everywhere. Just like look at this, mass chaos. It's wonderful. Wonderful fight. The Trollmen of Harad facing the Citadel Guard. Trying to just... It's like a dam that's cracking everywhere. That's the way I see this battle. The water is pouring through these tiny little holes, and Harad is just trying to plug them all up, but they just can't keep up. They can't keep up because Gondor and Rohan is attacking on many different flanks and causing a lot of issues for them. Just too many of them. We got Haradrim spears. We got a death of another general. I'm not sure who that was. Unfortunately, I wish it would just say, like, oh, Rohan's general. But that could have been a Haradrim general or a... actually, you know what? It was a Haradrim general. Because this is what's left of the bodyguard. One man seeking revenge for the death of his general. Trying to chase down Rohan. There you go. You got one guy. It's like the guy who got killed is like, oh, dang it. I gotta die to the one guy that lives. Why me? Why me? Alright, so just amazing. I mean, look at the carnage that Gondor has left on the battlefield. Just an unstoppable force of infantry that Harad just cannot compete with. Here comes the Peligre Marines. They're also joining the fight. I assume they've used up most of their javelin ammo. Citadel Guard closing in. sending in more bodies into the front line. Yeah, Rohan has a lot of reserves. What do we got back here? Some troops returning to the battlefield. But most of Rohan is located over in this section. Well, okay, so again, let's slow it down again, because it's kind of hard to tell what's going on in this very chaotic fight. I think Harad might potentially win this fight over on this side if they kind of group up and take out this flank. And then if they can save enough men, then maybe they can fight what's left of Rohan and Gondor. But it's not looking great. It's not looking great for the Haradrim. Just troops are getting surrounded. They're getting attacked from multiple flanks. The Cav is just running wild on this army. Now cutting down the archers who are breaking. You can just see, like, it doesn't matter where we look. We see Cav running in and out, doing cycle charges. Peligre Marines cutting down some archers. Archers, another very important tool for this army, but they just lost so many early on in this fight. But he still has some pikemen alive, which is not surprising because they were fighting Cav. The pikes are closing in on the Peligre Marines. Archers, I assume, are in guard mode. Still firing, almost point blank. Well, actually, they're firing over the heads. I think they're trying to take out the Cav, which makes sense. The archers would be trying to take out Cav because I would be most afraid of the Cav. Oh, there goes the other general for Rohan. So Rohan is pretty much spent, I believe, at least for their generals. And now the rest of Gondor and the Rohirrim forces are closing in on the pikemen of Harad. Here comes some Royal Guard, dismounted Royal Guard. They're closing around, flanking around. And we can see what's left. I mean, just look at the carnage on the battlefield. This is why I love pitch battles sometimes, because it's just so chaotic. There's so much going on. So many troops fighting at once. It's pretty awesome. Oh, now troops are being committed. There we go, the final, one of the few charges. Gondor militia going in. From Happy Meal. And now, yep, that looked pretty cool. Just seeing all the Gondor infantry close in on this front line, causing them to break, using their mass numbers to break the enemy. And Harad is defeated. Pretty sure. I don't know if they have any more units left. I think that's it. So yeah, I think that's Harad for, I think that's their infantry at least. I mean, they might have a couple troops because there's still a lot of time left in the battle. Okay, so yeah, they were just running down some troops, killing the general for Harad. But I just wanted to real quick show you the battlefield of this fight. I mean, there's just fighting all over the place. Harad had a huge army, and you can see most of them dead on the field. And oh, there goes the other general. So dead from some Rohan riders. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today's battle. I really enjoyed this one, even though it was pretty decisive. You know, Harad, I think the players made a couple mistakes there. I don't know how even the scenario was, but I think Harad was kind of indecisive, and they really suffered because of that. Just the constant cav charges, the harassment of the artillery from that cliff. I think what Harad should have done was try to create some distance away from that hill and then just push like more towards the trees over here and just get away from that artillery and then hopefully deal with the artillery much later on. But yeah, great fight. Gondor doing a great job getting 2,000. Both Rohirrim players getting about the same kills, only 10 difference, which is crazy. And then here's the kills of the baddies, the Haradrim. Let me go ahead and just show you these stats here. Just I'm gonna go pretty fast. You can pause it if you want to look at it more closely. But yeah, big thanks to PaladinBob and all the players involved. They did a great job. This was very entertaining, very exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Thank you so much for watching one of my videos, and I will see you next time.